Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagvad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Oh Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 15th adhiṣṭhāya of Purushottama Yoga. And Sri Krishna has just now shared some secret with us. Secret in a sense, he has explained to us, he has described to us how this, part of the Lord himself, how this Jivatman gets entrapped in the body, gets into the body, and while leaving the body, it takes away with it the Jivatman. The moment the body dies, the moment this body functioning is no more there, the moment this becomes a dead stone as it is, what happens to these the mischievous senses and the mind that are making this body experience this worldly life? Sri Krishna says that Jivatman is very much part and parcel of mind. That Jivatman takes away, carries away these things along with it, because it needs them for the next birth. Without them, without the senses and the mind, the Jivatman is functionless. It cannot do anything. Without the senses and the mind, the body cannot function. The new body in which the Jivatman is going to enter, that would be of no use if the senses and the mind is not there along with the Jivatman. They have to be in that active condition, and therefore Jivatman takes it with him. So that's what Sri Krishna had told us in the 8th Shloka in our previous reading, that Shariram yadi vapnoti yaccha pyutkram matishvaraha grihitvaitani sanyati vayur gandhani vashaya. Like the vayu, like the air, like the wind, it carries this gandha. Like the gandha is there, it gets carried away along with the wind, along with the air. The air has no smell of its own, isn't it? The air is smellless, devoid of any smell, devoid of any fragrance. But whichever smell, whichever fragrance the air comes in contact with, it just carries with it. The good smell, the bad smell, the pleasant smell, the irritating smell, the obnoxious smell, all for the air, for the wind. Whichever smell is their type of smell, it doesn't matter, it just carries with it. Come, chalo, aajao, I'm going, you also come with me, like that. Now, exactly like that, Sri Krishna says, like the wind carries the smell with it. And then it becomes so firmly bound to that wind. We feel the wind is smelling bad. It is not the wind is smelling bad. Wind is carrying that bad smell. Wind is carrying that pleasant smell. Wind is carrying that mind refreshing smell. You see these deodorants and all nowadays the younger generation has started using. Why is it? Because wherever they go, they carry that smell. The air around them carries that smell. Like that, the Jivatman carries these senses and the mind. And when a new body is to be taken, the Jivatman gets hold of that new body along with, though. Now these senses and the mind, they are constantly accompanying the Jivatman from body after body after body. Now Sri Krishna is further going to tell about these the senses and the mind, how they actually function in the body. Sri Krishna says in this ninth shloka, śrotraṃ cakṣuḥ sparśanaṃ ca rasanaṃ ghrāṇameva ca. Now these are the five senses that Sri Krishna has described. śrotraṃ cakṣuḥ sparśanaṃ ca rasanaṃ ghrāṇameva ca adhiṣṭhāya manaścāyaṃ viṣayānupasevate. Śrotraṃ. Śrotraṃ is the ear. The sense of hearing, in fact, for that matter. Śrotraṃ is sense of hearing. Ear is the sense organ. Now, because of this sense organ, we are able to hear. Because of this sense organ, because of this ear, the sound waves, they penetrate the body, and we can, and that's those sound waves, they make us hear the things. Then cakṣuḥ, eyes, the sight gives us the understanding of form, color, how a thing looks like. Śrotra, cakṣuḥ, sparśanaṃ. Sparśanaṃ is the touch, the skin. Rasanaṃ. Rasanaṃ is one of the, the most devastating sense for that matter. This taste of tongue, what all it does. Whatsoever howsoever we may control to not to eat, but does this rasa, does this sense of taste allow us not to eat anything? The sense of taste just tempts us. Enjoy this, enjoy this, enjoy this. And after enjoying, there is all pain and pain and pain at times. Sometimes, okay, when we do it in moderation, we do enjoy. Yes, no doubt about it. So that is what the rasa does. And ghrāṇameva. The ghrāṇa is smell. The nose as such. So Sri Krishna talks about these five senses and the five sense organs. The ear, the eye, the touch, the taste, the tongue, and nose, the smell. So these are the five basically perceptive senses that we have got to experience this world. I would never use the word to enjoy this world. To experience this world. That experiencing could be enjoying and it could be painful also. So these are the five senses available to the beings to experience this world. Now how these senses actually work, it may differ from species to species. We have eyes. Animals also have eyes, cats and dogs, but is it the same way we see the things that those creatures also see? Not at all. We see it in certain way. The cats and dogs and fish and flies and birds, they may be seeing the same thing with a different angle, in a different way. So each of us is given the sense organ to perceive the things to the best of our ability. Even hearing. All of us, we have ears, fine. But do all of us hear in the same way? No. Like I can't hear from my left ear at all. Ear is there. Ear is there, the passage is there, but the sound waves, they don't enter the internal faculty, and the sound waves cannot enter my ear so as to reach it to those brain cells which then decodify. Oh, this is what is the sound like. It happens to a certain extent from the right ear. Fine, but this is how each and every being has been given these inputs, given these gadgets to perceive the world. Given these gadgets, given these instruments, the sense organs to experience the world. And then what happens? Sri Krishna says, adhiṣṭhāya manaścāyaṃ viṣayānupasevate. Adhiṣṭhāya is presiding over all these sense organs and the senses. Sri Krishna says, the sense organ and the senses of hearing, seeing, touching, tasting and smelling. Adhiṣṭhāya, presiding over these. And manaha cha, and also the mind. Because only these 5 sense organs or 5 senses are not sufficient for us to experience. The 6th one, the mind, is extremely important. It is the mind. It is the mind which goads. It is the mind which instructs these sense organs and the senses. Hey, look, there is that sense object. Go and grab it. It is the mind that tells on their own. The sense objects, the senses and the sense organs, and the sense objects, they may not have any kind of, association. If I lose my mind, my eye may see some good things, but it will be just seeing, that's it. There is no experience. Because of the mind, I experience it. If I lose for that matter, if I lose mind, how am I going to experience whether a sweet meat tastes so delicious sweet? I can't interpret. That interpretation of the association of the sense object of the sense organ with the sense object, that doesn't happen without mind. So mind is absolutely crucial for this experience. For this experience that we get by the contact of sense organs with the sense objects. And then only we can experience. So Sri Krishna says, Manaha cha ayam viṣayānupasevate. That he, the Jivatman, upasevate is experiences, enjoys. The Jivatman enjoys this, the sense objects because of the mind. So having presiding over these sense organs and the senses, this indweller, this Jivatman, this part and parcel of the Paramatman, he experiences viṣayānupasevate. He enjoys these objects of senses. He enjoys these sense objects. Presiding over the ear, the eye, the touch, the taste and the smell, as also the mind, he, the indweller, experiences the objects, the sense objects. Without that, it is not possible. So, this is the 9th shloka that Sri, and I love this interpretation that Swami Chidbhavananda ji has given in terms of these, that Sri Krishna has actually given us the description of these senses: seeing, hearing, touching, smelling. Now, what Swami Chidbhavananda ji has brought out here in this commentary, he says that if a man is imprisoned in a dark cell, in prison, and there is no light, there is nothing, then he would perish. That person would perish deprived of touch with the other Panchamahabhutas. The moment a person is deprived of contact with the Panchamahabhutas, it is not possible to survive. It is not possible to dwell. The person would perish. That being would perish if there is no contact with the Panchamahabhutas. And how these five senses and the sense organs, they help us remaining in touch with these Panchamahabhutas. This is what Swami Chidbhavananda has explained in his commentary on this shloka. Shri Krishna has said that yes, we perceive the world, we experience the world, the indweller, the Jivatman experiences the world because of the five senses and the mind. That Jivatman presides over these five senses and the mind and experiences the world. Experiences the world means what? Experiences the world means we remain in a constant touch with our origin. And what is the origin of this physical body? The Panchamahabhutas. Without that, the body will not survive. If that touch is not there, if that touch with the source. Like for Jivatman, the source is the Paramatman. What is the source of this physical body? The Panchamahabhutas. Panchamahabhutas are the source of this body. That is, the body is, all the permutations and combinations of those Panchamahabhutas coming from the air, water, ether, fire, and these things. So, Swami Chidbhavananda has given in his commentary here, but the Jivatman residing in the fort of his body gets all his requirements, gets his touch with the Panchamahabhutas through these sense organs. And how it happens? The sound that we hear, sound is the adjunct of Akasha. Sound is the adjunct of that vast Akasha which comes through ear, śrotraṃ. So that is how we remain in touch with that element of with that primal element of this creation, the sound, the sound with the Akasha. Then eye functions to bring the message of light in the form. Light and form. We get light and form through eyes. That is the sight is our sense of perception of fire. The form, the fire and the light. Fire gives us the light. Fire is the ultimate source of light, and therefore Sri Krishna had told that ultimate Purusha doesn't need any third-party light to illuminate. It doesn't need sun, it doesn't need moon, it doesn't need fire to have that illumination. It is self-illumined. So fire is the source of light for this physical attributes, not for the illumination, self-illumination. Fire is the attribute for light as far as the physical dimension is concerned. So our eyes, they remain in contact with the element of fire of these Panchamahabhutas. So ear remains in touch with the Akasha, eyes remain in touch with the fire, sense of touch, which is the adjunct of air, pervades all over his body, even intimating him of the heat and cold of the environment. This is what our sense of touch does. Sense of touch keeps us in touch with the air which is pervading. And we say, oh, it is very cold, it is very hot. That is what the air does to this sense of touch. It gives us, it brings us in, a constant reminder that we are one with this air. That is what sense of touch does. Then, taste is the adjunct of water, the rasa. Why we get the taste of any of the thing that we eat? It is because of that water on the tongue. That rasa is experienced because of the element of water in this Panchamahabhuta. That same water. After all, our body is, there is 70% water for that matter, or 60% water or something. But maximum portion of our body is nothing but water. And that, our association with the water of the Panchamahabhuta is continued, is experienced, is maintained because of the sense of touch, because of the sense of taste. And then the nose conveys to him the sense of smell, and it is the element of earth in the Panchamahabhutas, which actually carries the smell with it. Water doesn't have any smell. The air by its own doesn't have any smell. It carries the gathered smell. That's fine. But air by its own doesn't have any. Earth has. The moment it starts raining after a deadly summer, how we enjoy that smell of the earth emitting from the first contact with water. As it is, everything that is pertaining to earth, it gives rise to the sense of smell. It gives rise to the smell as an object. And this is experienced. This oneness with the earth, this constant touch with the earth is maintained by the sense of nose. So that is how Swami Chidbhavananda says, this is how the being remains in touch with the original 5 elements, with the Panchamahabhutas, because of these 5 sense organs that the Lord has provided. And this Jivatman is so smart. After leaving the body is of no use to Jivatman. The moment the body is of no use to Jivatman, Jivatman says goodbye, bye-bye. I don't need you anymore. I am going. But the Jivatman doesn't go alone. Jivatman always carries with it these 5 crucial senses and the mind. Sense organs don't go. Because sense organs, they have to, in the next body, since the senses get carried away with the Jivatman, they will find a suitable sense organ in that new body. If the Jivatman feels, okay, let me see the world through other dimension, not as a human being, let me experience the world as a cat or a mouse or a dog. The senses will get those respective sense organs of that physical body. And they will experience the world from that perception, from that perspective. So this is what happens when the Jivatman leaves the body, carries away all the senses to maintain that contact, to maintain that oneness with all the 5 basic principles of this creation, the basic Panchamahabhutas of this creation. So this is what Sri Krishna has told here in this 9th shloka that we read, that all these five senses of the hearing, of seeing, of touch, of taste and of smell and the mind, they get carried away. The Jivatman carries them away with it to viṣayānupasevate, in order to experience the sense objects. That is how the continuity of this phenomenal world goes on and on and on. So Sri Krishna has again told us how tricky this business is. The Jivatman doesn't leave those senses and the mind in spite of leaving the physical body. That is gone. But my journey continues to another life. And this continues till the final destination is reached by the Jivatman, and then everything is given up. Not even the sense, and then that is the time where there is no need of senses, there is no need of mind, there is only me and the Paramatman, and that's it. And once that the river merges into the ocean, there is no more. We cannot say in the ocean, this water of the ocean is of Ganges, or this water in this Arabian Sea is that of Godavari or any other river which is merging into the Arabian Sea. We can't separate out those waters then. It just becomes one with the ocean. So that is how Sri Krishna has explained to us the game of the senses and the Jivatman and the mind, how it continues from one birth to another. That was the 9th shloka of the Purushottama Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.